Hello, the game has started. It's my opponent to go first. He's changed. This is my rack. Pretty grim, but is it grim enough to change? Well, I could play Vow. That keeps duplicate Y and only scores 18 points. I could play YOWE. Let me see what that looks like. 20 points, keeping OVY. Well, OVY will be worth less than 20 points, but there is some value for my opponent in placing these floaters on the board. So I think I'm going to change, and I'll keep just the E. And that is a better rack. Fantastic. I should be bingoing this turn, and I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have been had I have played pretty much any word last turn. So, do I have any sevens? Should opponent change again? I would have thought so. Nothing's come to mind. I've got the epi prefix, the duplicate I, a slight fly in the ointment, but I'm sure there will be bingos. I'm just mentally running through the alphabet for the blank. Not seen anything yet. I'm up to K. Great, a ton of floaters to choose from. I'm just going to finish running through the alphabet to see if I can see any sevens. S looks promising, but I'm not seeing anything. Okay, well, I haven't seen a 7. I'm sure there are several. So do I have anything beginning or ending with O? Unlikely. What about a play with an A? Well, that would be a 5 vowel 8. Again, unlikely. Likewise with the E. So the only floating consonants are P and L. A play through the P would score more. So what do I have with this rack plus a P? Well, that will be duplicate P. So maybe something like epitopic. I'm not sure about that. It's not good. So I thought I was going to have an abundance of bingos to choose from. And in fact, so far I've found none. Let me consider the L as well as the P and run through the alphabets. So I'm imagining L and P with this rack. It's so easy to convince yourself that there's a word ending otic, like epilotic. Still nothing. I'll be grateful to find any bingo now. Again, that looks... Oh, I have impolite. I have a bingo. Fantastic. So do I have anything through the P? So I'm imagining this rack with another P. So that's the out prefix. Okay, so pretty slim pickings there. But it's good to have a bingo. Impolite for 61. Not great. Back to a vowel well, not back to a vowel glut. I didn't have one earlier. I just had a rack that I needed to change with. Is this a similar rack? Such a shame, because there are two hotspots in row H onto these triple word squares. And I can't use them without burning the S, so I've got EQs, 24 points, keeping EOU, not great. What else is available? Well, opponent takes that spot, so what about the right-hand side? Not sure I have anything. So how to sort the rack out? I certainly want to play off one U, and I could play off both with U2 for 5 points. Probably better to change. I've got Mue for 6 points, and Meow. That would interrupt the double-double lane. I'm changing. I just can't see anything which is going to score very much. Therefore changing can't be bad. Do I change the O as well? I think so. There are plenty of vowels on the board. Great, I have cretins. And that may have an anagram. Cistern may have another one. I have cisterna onto the A, but there's a ton of bingos through an A. So canister, keratins, that's a double-double. Creatins, that's a double-double. Cisterna, nacrites, scantia, tacrines. So double-doubles through the A. What about double-doubles through the E? Sentries, scienter, secretin. I have secretin through the E. There's a third double-double lane, which is column 4 through DI. Opponent's blocked both of them. Well, let me just check that he has. Well, Psi Enter still plays, but that's not a double-double. Secretin doesn't. And let me just check the ones through the A, because Gator does take an S at the end. Creatins, keratins. No, so both double-double lanes have been taken out, which is good play by my opponent. Impolite takes an R, so I do have cistern in column 12. But I was thinking about a play through DI. So it would be an anagram of indirect plus an S. What about a play ending I-E-S-T? No, not seeing anything there. So what about a play in column 1? I have centrist for 83, and I'm going with that. Not great, U, V, W, and B. However, the Z is a good tile to have. So I think it's unlikely I will be changing. Just looking at this A next to, well, looking at the double letter square next to the A, 42 for opponent, so I have a slender lead. So what I can do here is was, which is great because it's nearly 50 points and it jettisons the W and U, and with UVW you're really ideally looking to play at least 2 of them, and that's what was achieves. It isn't providing anything massive for my opponent. I can't see anywhere else to play was or anything better. I'm going with this. And I draw the second blank, which is fantastic. The rest of the rack still some way away from a bingo, or a little way away from a bingo. I've got 3 scoring tiles in V, B and H. And I don't have an E. But it's a balanced rack. And I've got a good lead. The V is the least bingo-y, so it would be nice to play off the V with 1 of B and H, preferably the B. But that's hard. Not too many BV words around. I guess I could play above onto an E, and there is an E. That's quite attractive, because it denies my opponent the use of that E, which, although I've got the blank, I'm happy to do because there are other bingo lanes on the board. Still 51 tiles in the bag. So what if this E is taken? I just note that column 8 is quite hot for 5-letter plays for vowels next to the W. I thought wasn't providing anything. It actually is providing a hot spot, but it's not one I can use this turn. Bother isn't good. Now through an A I would have Tava. So I have Tava in row K, T-A-V-A-H, keeping B-O blank. That's not bad. However, both of those could be blocked. UG takes an H. Well, and they're not blocked. Interesting. So, above or Tava? Above scores 20. Tava would be 22. I like this rack leave TH blank, especially with the floating A and C of centrist. That's a good reason for hanging on to the H. I'm going with this. Well, I don't know how many U's and V's I've seen this game. It seems to be more than there actually is in the set, but maybe it's because I've been throwing them back. But that's a pretty grim pickup, U, V and Y. I was hoping my rack would mature into a bingo. It's gone in the opposite direction. And annoyingly, because of my vowel shortage, I don't have a play in column 8. Well, opponent goes there. Fortunately, only 29 points, and I've still got a 60-point lead. So I need to split up U and V. How can I do that? Not that many vowels on the board. And I can't see anything through the O of above. Or between I and E. I'm actually contemplating changing for what would be a 3rd time. Row H, quite hot. But I'm not in a hurry to go there. I've got the R for impoliter. Ruthie, not good. 11 minutes on my clock. Is there really nothing better than changing? My Y can go next to the N. But I just can't see a play in that spot. Well, what about YU? It's 22 points. That's not bad. I'm close to thrive. If I pick up one vowel, the blank can be a vowel. Well, I was thinking about playing Ryu. Even though I am taking out the R for impolite, the rack leave is more balanced, and it's more points. Am I missing something else which would enable me to keep the R? I don't think so. I'm going with this. And I draw all consonants. And there's still a lot of vowels left. I lead just 80 points. However, I have the blank, and that's always a good thing to see on your rack. So is this a changing rack? Well, I guess I need to look at the vowels, but the vowels in above don't provide access to any double word squares. I have NTH and UG, which I think is better than changing. I'm keeping the consonants in drive, so there's a little bit of synergy there. And I'm taking out the U as a floater, and since I'm ahead, it is in my interest to close the board down. So this is what I was thinking of. Unth for 19 I think is better than changing. Again, if I draw vowels, then I could have something through the T of true go, and I've still got the R for impolite, so unth isn't taking out column 12 totally. Is there anywhere better for unth? Don't think so. I'm going with this. Finally, some vowels. 3 vowels, I think. So, do I have a bingo? I have deviator through the T of true go. What else? That only just fits, but only's good enough. How about a 7-letter play, making impoliter? Let me see if I can see any 7s. Wow, opponent scores well and takes out my deviator spot. That's avoider and avodia, neither of which plays. 9 minutes on my clock. Disfavour through an S, but very few floaters on the board, and no S's. Overlaid through an E, no E's. And I'm primarily Verando. Yes, and that plays. Fantastic. Fantastic. I was not optimistic of finding a bingo. No E and a V. But there is Verando. Superb. And Privado. Yeah. Is there a third? Advisor. Well, that doesn't work. The R's in the wrong position. 8 minutes on my clock. So I have Verando, which scores the most and stops two lines short of row O. So it's a better play than Privado, which I think takes an S. But even if it doesn't, it would have provided access for a big score using this triple letter square. So Verando's nice. Also, nothing goes next to the V, so I'm not creating a bingo lane. The only thing better than Verando would be if I had a play beginning with the T. But I don't think, well, I certainly haven't seen one. T with D and V, not many of those. So I'm going with this. Pretty good. I draw an S. And let me check if Verando takes an S. It does. Another big score for opponents. He's scoring well off the power tiles, 48 points. So my lead is still just 1 bingo. However, I have Duke with a decent rack leave, 45 points. And Verando's was good, so row N, a decent bingo lane. But look at the remaining tiles, massively bingo-y. So I think there's a good chance opponent will bingo. If he does, well, he will be providing access to triple word squares. So I may be able to still be in a strong position. So is Duke best? 7 minutes on my clock. I think it's reasonably important to play here. Otherwise, opponents can do so. Yeah, I'm going with this. Great, I have leaders and dealers and redeals and lasered and arlsed. So a ton of bingos, all of which play in row N. And all of which could vanish if opponent plays there. And he doesn't. Fantastic. I have some trepidation with this opponent. I'm pretty sure he's beaten me pretty handsomely in the past. And he's certainly got a strong rating. I'm tempted to play arlsed. No, I'm not. I was trying to avoid placing a vowel above this triple word square. Let me just put this rack back together. I've still got 6 minutes, and given that I'm guaranteed to bingo, that's quite a good position to be in. Is there something beginning with E? I don't think so. So I think I am looking at the Verando hook, and I think that's the right thing to do anyway, given that there are 2 S's out there, so that's the best lane for my opponent. Dealers is going to score most. Redeals, that's the one which doesn't place a vowel above the triple word square. And R only takes an E underneath it, and there are no E's to come, so I like this play, even though it scores slightly less than dealers. Wow, great pickup. I have Incisal and Salicin, nowhere for either. Can't see anything beginning with E or K. Opponent can, but I have Incisal if that's good. And Salicin doesn't play. So Incisal for 86. Yes, bang! Wow, what a finish. Wow, okay, he's gone fast. Final score, 380 to my opponent, 554 to me, a winning margin of 174 points, so a huge, huge win. Let's see what I missed. What a game, what a finish. It was my opponent to go fast. He had this rack and changed. My rack could have played Wove, but look at the rack leave, horrendous, so I changed. Opponent plays Olp. Now, this was a rack I really struggled with. And, well, there were a lot of bingos. So Epizoite, L8 through the E. Poplitii, Petitio. And what did I do? I played Impolite for 61, so a few points left on the table there. Probably Poplitii would have been my preferred option. And a great word, I think it means to do with the back of the knee, or a muscle in the back of the knee. Now, opponent's rack. He's close to a bingo, he plays tied, and I have this horror show. And I change, and I could have played Coupe for 17. Well, Coupe would have been better. ESU, quite a nice rack leave, not a disaster. But then you're down into the territories of the 7s and 6s, which is what I was seeing, and I preferred to change. Horrible rack for opponent. He plays Gaeta. Now, wow, there was a bingo through DI, re-indicts, a double-double. That would have scored 98. I missed that and went with Centrist for 83. So again, points left on the table. Opponent plays Annex. And I played Was, but Zobu available for 58, 9 more points. However, the Z at A4 provides access to the triple word square, which I would instinctively be against. But setting that aside, is above 9 points better than AVW? I doubt it. It might not be better at all, but I think it's probably slightly better. Anyway, not much between those plays. Opponent's rack, he plays Wimp, and now I thought about Tava. I went with Above, and I don't think there's much between these plays. Opponent plays Trugo, and I'm beginning to think that I'm going to be drawing badly for the remainder of the game. Fortunately, not the case. So I play Ryu. Wow, let me just go back to that. I have RHY on my rack. Well, that would keep UV. So on the plus side it would keep a vowel, on the down side it keeps UV. But Yup was available at J6 because of Wimpy. Wow, what a big score. I think I would have gone with that. There is some synergy going on here, and I am splitting up UV. So Ryu, I think, pretty suboptimal. Opponent's rack plays Deaf. No vowels for me. I play Unth. That looks fine. Dearth 11H. Oh wow, through the E of Impolite. Okay, that would have been, I think, a better play. Opponent has Korma. And now Virando and Privado were the only bingos. So delighted to have spotted both of those. Opponent has Jeff A. So he's still within reach. I play Duke. Jerk also available. I prefer Duke. Gets rid of the U. Wow, that looks pretty bingo-y. And I think besting is good. But nowhere for a bingo. The opponent plays Beg, and this secured the win for me, and the only bingos were pluralizing Virando. Great spot by my opponent, Kilotons, the only bingo, and then bang, Incisal for 86. So absolutely amazing end to the game with three bingos to finish the game off and to send my score massively over the 500 mark. So absolutely huge win and tremendous game all round. So many thanks to my opponent for a fantastic battle. He was within reach of me until just before the end, and then we had that explosion of bingos. So I hope you enjoyed watching that game, and I will see you next time.